One of the most asked questions I get on the channel is how I set up casts and store them for use on the water. Today, we're specifically focusing on constructing multi-fly casts for loch style fishing. That said, regardless of the type of fly fishing you enjoy, the principles in this video are the same for running and still water. Whether you're a seasoned angler or just getting started, this video will provide you with valuable tips on fly casts, the knots to use and how to store your leader when you're out on the water. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Hi everyone, if you're new here, my name is Lindsay and I make fly fishing and fly tying videos to help you on your fly fishing journey. Probably one of the more overlooked aspects of learning to fly fish is making up casts. Mostly the priority for folks is just starting out is to learn to cast a fly. This is often done with a friend on your shoulder who has tied the leaders to the end of the fly line and often a piece of wool to teach you to cast. Of course, when you come to practice yourself, you need to be proficient with the tying of the knots. So the most important thing is to learn the basic knots that will set you up for success later in this video. To do this, I've broken the video into 3 sections. Section 1. The 3 essential knots. Now there is lots of different knots to use whilst fly fishing, but I'm going to show you the 3 knots that I use. Let's run through the only 3 knots you will need for fly fishing.
First up is the improved clinch knot. This is one of the most common knots for tying your fly to the leader. It's quick, reliable and strong, enough for most trout fishing situations. Pass the tippet through the eye of the hook. Make 4 or 5 wraps around the standing line. Bring the tag end back through the loop near the eye. And then tuck it through the big loop you've just created. Moisten the knot and pull tight. This knot grips the fly securely and works well with dry flies, nymphs, even small streamers. Think of it as your everyday go-to knot. Next is the non-slip loop knot. Unlike the clinch knot, this knot leaves a loop at the front of the fly. Why does that matter? Because it gives your fly more freedom to move in the water, making it look more natural. Start by tying a simple overhand knot in the line, but don't tighten it. Pass the tag end through the hook eye, then back through the overhand knot. Make 3 to 4 wraps around the standing line and finally feed the tag back through the overhand knot the same way it entered. Moisten and tighten to form a small loop. This is the knot I use for streamers, wet flies and boobies when I want extra movement. It's a fantastic way to make your fly come alive. Lastly, the surgeon's knot. This knot is used to connect two pieces of leader or tippet together. Lay the two lines side by side, overlapping a few inches. Tie a simple overhand knot, passing both tag ends through. Do this twice more and make a double or triple hand knot. Moisten and pull all four ends evenly. It's quick, simple and very strong. Perfect for adding tippet to your leader or when building leader with droppers.
Guys, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to practice these knots in the comfort of your own home. Tie them until they become second nature. It will save you a heap of frustration on the water. If you want to be precise with your leader construction, get a tape measure and measure out from the end of your arm to various parts of your body, which will tell you exactly the distances you're going to be constructing your casts with. Guys, I'm not trying to teach you to suck eggs here, but I just want to go through what I mean by consistency of building your casts. I've got a tape measure here. Now if I pull this out from my left tip of my hand to my right tip is 5 feet, give or take a few centimetres. If I bring it to my solar plexus here, it's 3 feet. If I come to my shoulder, it's 4 feet. Now, using these simple 3 measurements, I can build up a multitude of different styles of casts to use whilst fly fishing. We're all different shapes and sizes, but knowing the measurements when you are creating your casts is important. If your leader is too long, you might not be able to land a fish caught on the point fly. And if you don't have 10 foot of tippet to your first dropper fly, it may make it more difficult to change lines quickly. Before we go on, let's nip over to the boat and have a look at how I change my fly line. Okay, you join me in the boat, and what we're going to go through now is how I quickly change lines while I'm out on the water. Now, I'm in a boat today, but this works just the same principle for still waters. So, you need a cassette reel really. If you're going to get right into fly fishing, you need to have at least a floater, an intermediate and a fast sinker. Is what I would say is the 3 essential lines when you're beginning. So what I'm going to do, because I've got 10 foot to my first fly, I'm able to wind my line in to here. And what I can do is then snip that away. I'm going to change to a Kelly green, which will take me down just a little bit quicker than this baby pull line that I've got. I simply attach the line to my tippet. Then I'll just get the line through the top ring by sweeping my rod tip through the water, which will drag the line up through the rod rings. Now, don't stick your rod right in the water, it only needs 2 or 3 inches, and then you can pull it through without much difficulty. Then I can simply change my cassette over. I'm using a Hardy Demon reel here, I've had for a number of years, and then slip in your new spool. Obviously you need to strip line off the spool, and you're immediately back fishing. And that's how quick it is to change your line. Let's take a look at a detailed diagram of various casts. 1. My starting gambit is usually always a 4-fly cast. This is especially effective for covering a large area of water. I find it particularly effective when the fish are higher in the water column. The higher the fish are in the water, the smaller their feeding window is. A 3-fly cast is no shorter than the 4-fly setup. It simply allows me to space the flies out further apart. This can be useful when the body of water you are fishing is crystal clear. I know some anglers that fish just one fly in these kind of conditions with great success, but maybe that's a topic for another video. Guys, if you're enjoying the video, please don't forget to give it a like. It really does help the channel grow. And if you're enjoying the content, why not consider subscribing to the channel? It is absolutely free. It costs no money to subscribe. All that happens is you'll be notified when I produce more content. That said, let's jump straight back in. Section 3. Storing your leaders. Now, let's talk about how to store your leaders in preparation for a day's fishing. So what's the point of making up multiple leaders before you go fishing? There are a few reasons for this. Tying leaders up when you are in the luxury of your own home with good light and no wind is easy. Or should I say easier, depending on how bad your eyes are. The second, and probably more important, is the fishing. I would much rather be fishing than tying up leaders any day of the week. If you are anything like me and have to travel great distances to your fishing locations, you'll want to maximise your fishing time. It's a great habit to get into, and if you adopt this, you'll thank me later. Proper storage for your leaders is crucial for maintaining their integrity and longevity. Here are a couple of methods you can use. Using a leader spool organiser is an excellent way to keep your leaders tangle free. Just wrap the leader line around the spool and label it for easy access. A leader wallet is another great option. It allows you to store multiple leaders in an organised manner and protects them from UV, damage and wear. Personally, these foam cylinders, they are not readily available, but you could cut your own from some foam. The advantage of these is due to their width. They store the leader with hardly any memory. I also find it easy to attach flies to them. Keeping your leader stored properly will save you time and frustration the next time you hit the water. One size does not fit all. There are literally hundreds of scenarios where you might want to vary the length of your leader or the number of flies you want to fish. I hope this video has given you some insight into how I construct my leaders and secure my flies to the tippet. Thanks for joining me today as we explored multi-fly casts, essential knots and storage solutions for your leaders. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more fishing tips and drop any questions you have in the comments below. I'll see you all in the next one.